Hello and happy Sunday evening. It's almost sunset, and the only reason I know about sunsets and sunrises is because of the chickens. So at sunset I have to go close the door, and at sunrise I have to open the door so they can come out and be outside and do their little things. So I know about sunsets and sunrises. I know about shortened days. I know how seeing the sunlight is like a mood enhancer sometimes, especially after like dreary days, cloudy days. Seeing the sun rays coming in, it just kind of lifts your spirit sometimes. And especially for us gardeners, I mean, the shorter day, it's hard. It's like there's less time to do activities. The temperatures aren't warm enough. There's not enough daylight to get some good produce going. And back to the chickens. I mean, even the chickens, they have almost stopped laying altogether because the daylight is so short. I have artificial light in there to extend the day, but they also are going through a molt. And a molt is when the weather changes, the seasons change, they need new feathers. So their old feathers come off, like they fall off, and then new feathers come in. And I've shown some pictures and videos before of how terrible it looks during a molt. I told someone today that it looks like, it looks painful, and it may be very painful for them. They don't look very comfortable when I have been losing feathers, and then even like the new feathers are growing back, like the pin feathers coming out of their skin are growing back. And I told someone today that it looks like I've taken the chickens, like one by one, and like put them in a chicken deplucker for a couple of seconds and then pulled them out again. I mean, the amount of change in their feathers is amazing. And I am not sure what to say, but I was trying to check the Facebook Live to see if it was going to work again. And no, it wasn't. So that's okay. I'll use a video. But you know what, guys? These changes of seasons, it can wreak havoc on our cells. It can wreak havoc on our souls, on our lives, and our thoughts, and our hearts. It can be really hard on most of us as the daylight decreases. Many are going to work in the dark. They're coming home in the dark. And, you know, the leaves are falling. I mean, it's beautiful when there's the fall color and things change like that. But the leaves are falling and exposing all of the branches of the trees, which are not dead. The trees are not dying, and the trees are not dead. The trees are asleep. They go to sleep in the winter. Then they wake up again in the spring. It's the natural order of things. This time of year is really tough on a lot of people. There's actually endorphins that you can get. I believe it's serotonin hormone that can be manufactured with light entering, like your exposure to the sunlight, and the effect it has when it like gets to your eyes. Not like looking into the sun, but being exposed to sunlight. It makes like feel-good hormones. So when there's less light, of course you're not going to feel as well. The other part is the holidays are coming up. And when I say the holidays, I'm specifically talking about Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas specifically. These are big holidays for a lot of people. For Halloween, like my kids, my youngest one is 21 now. But I can remember, and I have flashbacks about all of the previous Halloweens that have come and gone. And when they were little. And it's kind of bittersweet because you remember those times and you kind of wish for them again. And I don't have any grandkids right now. So, you know, I have to kind of live vicariously through, what is this? Oh, sorry. The cats were fighting. So that happens too. And anyway, so Halloween can be a tough thing. Back when I was growing up, Halloween meant we went door to door to door blocks and blocks and blocks, hours and hours and hours, big old pillowcases full of candy. And we didn't want to come home because there was so much going on. And we had friendships in the neighborhoods, and everybody's mom looked out for everyone else's child. So it was different than what it is now. I talked to one mom that said that she had gone, this had been her fifth trick-or-treating with her kids. Like, the kids have gone 5 different things for Halloween. So things are changing, and it changes. It can change our sense of tradition, our reliance on tradition, the way that we've always done it. And it brings up memories, good memories, bad memories, because of Halloween. Thanksgiving, same types of things going on. Things are changing. People are meeting with friends. People move away from each other, and they don't get together necessarily on Thanksgivings, or they don't come home for Thanksgivings, or people have gotten sick, people have passed away. And so thinking back over past holiday times, maybe you had a lot of family come in. When I was a young girl, all my aunts and uncles came in. They were in the service. They all came home for Thanksgiving, and we'd meet at, one grandparent's house, and it would be full of cousins, nieces, and, well, not nieces and nephews. We were the nieces and nephews, but cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents and parents, and, everyone was there, and the sense of family was there too. So we're coming up on November in just a couple days, and people are already thinking about Thanksgiving ahead of time. And some people are like pre-grieving Thanksgiving, pre-grieving the holidays that are coming up. And then there's Christmas, which is a huge holiday for most people. And the same types of things can come on. And, the traditions that you've always had may be changing. Maybe you have new kids in the house. Maybe you have toddlers in the house, and you have to change how you celebrate Christmas. But then you have to remember, for your new parents, whatever you do, whatever tradition you start establishing with the kids, you're going to have to do the next year. So really analyze which traditions you want to do, and why they're important to you, and if they're worth continuing before you start them with those young kids. But I mean, the teenagers, even teenagers, maybe they show no interest in anything else that mom and dad are doing. But if you don't put up a Christmas tree, oh my gosh, that's not good. Or if you don't take them out shopping until lunch, because again, they're used to traditions. And with the lockdowns we've had, it really changed. It changed a lot of our sense of identity, our sense of belonging, our sense of family and community, when we either chose not to meet with people, or we were told we couldn't, or we couldn't visit people in the hospitals or the nursing homes because of the rules. And it made a lot of people upset then too. But we tried to say, well, there's reasons why. We want to keep people healthy and safe, and we're trying to mitigate risks. So that made a lot of sense. But it still shook people up. And so coming up this fall, the virus is endemic, and that means it's going to be in our population for a long time, like the flu is. And we're learning to live with it. But our traditions and our holidays and the way we celebrate may be different. Some people may think they can go right back to everything else. Maybe they're ready for that. And so their expectation is the way we did it before COVID. And this is how we've done it, and this is what we're going to continue. And I sure hope you come, and I sure hope you come. And I'm expecting, Aunt Sue's pie and Aunt Betty's marshmallow fluff. And even then, planning ahead about dinners and get-togethers and traditions that you've always done, you might be planning for certain people to be there, and they're not going to be able to come. They may have died, and it slips our mind sometimes when the busy gets here. It slips our mind. And so then we think about them and we feel such loss. And then we're like, no, 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 got so much to do. Maybe we can't think about them. But can you honor them in some way? Can you recognize loss? Especially for those people that are very close to them or have been really close to them. Can you talk about them? Can you bring up good memories? Can you let those people know that their loved one was loved by you too? And that you do care, and that that person meant something to you and to everyone else around them, and acknowledge them and help them with their grief. Help them understand that it's okay to talk about that person. It's definitely okay to share anything you want to, or to vent about it, or whatever it might be. And so with the holidays coming up, you know, you might feel like that chicken going through molting where you're all raggedy and you feel like you're going to explode, or you just, you know, yes, we're coming out of a global pandemic. We're coming out of lockdowns. We're coming out of restrictions that we had, but it's a different kind of normal. And can we keep our expectations focused on reality? Are we flexible in our expectations? If we're expecting too much of ourselves, can we change that? If we're expecting too much of our families, can we change that? Can we just love ourselves, and can we just love our families as they are and as we are, without judging ourselves, without judging them, and just loving them and appreciating who still is left even. That's a good idea. So going back to my chicken example, and I wasn't sure if I was going to keep this light or not, but I want to be an encouragement to you. I want you to know that I see you and I hear you. I want you to know that when I'm going through my news feed and I see that you're not posting, I know something's up. When I'm going through my news feed and you're posting things about that you're struggling, I see you and I hear you, and I know that you're struggling too, and I'm praying for you. And you know who you are. I don't have to call anyone out. You know exactly who you are. I know several of you that I can tell when something's going on, but guess what? I'm praying for you, and I am on your side, and I am on your team. And your hurt is still my hurt. And I want to include you. I want to encourage you. I want you to know that you're not really alone. You may think you're alone, and that's a lie. You may think that pain that you're feeling is going to go on forever, and that's a lie too. It's not going to go on forever. And I want you to know that we love you and we care about you, and I don't know what else to say. But if you feel like that poor chicken that has lost all its feathers and it's all raggedy now and it's uncomfortable, your feathers will grow back. Your life will go on. You will carry grief with you. I told somebody, I posted something on a different board the other day that about like grief, and how, you know, there are some days I call myself the lazy northern gardener, but but the lazy is supposed to be like, you know, you call a tall guy shorty. I know I'm busy, and I know some of you read this stuff or you see me doing some more stuff and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. But I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest with you that there are many days I get done with my regular 6 to 2 job, and I crawl into bed to take a nap, and then I don't want to get out of bed. And sometimes I let myself not get out of bed. I don't have kids that I have to manage right now. I don't have any responsibilities except the chickens and the cats and the dog, and to my husband, who would be at work. But there are many days that I'm in bed Now I can scroll in bed. I can put together flower designs in bed if I want to. I can look up YouTube videos. I mean, there are things I can do if I want to. I could just sit and listen to music. I could journal. I can cry, whatever it is. But I can be under my covers and under my blankies, feeling safe and warm. And I don't beat myself up over it. And I know there will be days like that. And then there are some days too, and I've told people this before, where actually I got a bracelet from one of the programs that I'm in, and it just says, "Can I just?" with a question mark. So sometimes what I have to do is I have to acknowledge that, you know what, I know you need to be in the bed. I know you need to cocoon. I know you need to rest. I know this day's been hard. I know this week has been hard. I know whatever it is that's going on is really hard. And then I might say, and I love you, and I get that. And then I might say, or I might ask, can I just go get the eggs from the coop? And that's it. Come back in. It's just a quick trip. Takes less than 5 minutes. Come back in. Or can I just put my dishes from the sink into the dishwasher? That's it. That's it. And then I'll even tell myself, okay, you can go back to bed now. Okay. And many times getting up and doing just one thing, and not for the sake of being busy, and not even for the sake of being productive, but getting up and doing one very tiny thing. One very tiny thing. If I say it's something really, really tiny, my brain, who loves me and wants to protect me, doesn't have a cow about it. They're like, oh, my brain is like, I can do that. But a lot of times, once I get up and I do one very tiny thing, I might do one other tiny thing. Small. And if not, that's okay too. Then I go back to bed. And I do not have clinical depression. I do not take meds or anything like that. But I know how I operate. And being I never thought I was a creative person, but apparently I am. So being a creative person and being a person who likes to encourage other people and teach other people and, you know, really root for people and for the potential that they can be, seeing them where they are, and then for the potential they can be and the accomplishments they can have. You know, sometimes that drains me. It does drain my emotional energy. But again, that's okay. I know a lot of people that are struggling with a lot of really deep issues. And there used to be a time where I would take all of their stuff inside of me, inside of my heart, and it would just, it would suffocate me. Their concerns and their pain would suffocate me. And it doesn't happen like that anymore. Now when I hear somebody's story, I can cry with them. I can get angry with them. I can come home, or I can just take the stuff in and I can pray for them. And because I'm feeling, I guess I might be an empath, but because I can pick up on people's vibes, or I can pick up on their concerns that they have, I don't, it doesn't smother me anymore. If anything, it's just a reminder to pray for them. When so-and-so comes to my mind and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they still have to deal with this. This is really, really hard. And then it just reminds me, I'm going to pray for them right now. And so I may not say that I'm praying for you, but guess what, I am. And I may not reach out to you particularly, but I'm going to be praying for you for sure. And anyway, just wanted to say this stuff. It's getting close to the end of October. The days are shorter. We're getting into the holiday months. And I just want to see you guys all make it through. And keep your expectations realistic. You know, if you're just not feeling up to certain things, don't force yourself to do it and think that you should. Don't should on yourself. Please don't should on yourself. It's not worth it. You know, do one thing and do it because you really want to. Do one thing that makes you feel a little bit better if you can. Find one thing. Find a painting. Find at Christmas time, find an ornament you love. If you can't put up the tree, find one ornament you love and hang it on your bathroom mirror or on the rearview mirror of your car. Something that reminds you that this is something you love. And just take it slow. Take it slow. We always told our kids when they're growing up, you know, you'd ask the question, how does a mouse eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. It's just little baby steps. The tiniest little baby step. And not to discount anyone's suffering they're going through at all. I want to say other people are suffering as well. So if you lost a child, somebody else has lost a child as well. If you've lost a child, somebody's lost a parent. And they're looking for a parental role to be filled if possible. There's orphans. There are kids in shelters. And their Christmases might be made better with toys that you would have purchased for your child. If you've lost a husband, somebody else has lost a wife. If you've lost a husband, somebody else has lost a son. And so in other countries than the U.S., one of the things that they really harp on is when people are depressed and when they're down, that they go help other people. Because when you're in the middle of helping other people, you're seeing their spirits lifted. You're seeing a child's face light up with joy because they have now got a brand new teddy bear. For that split second, at least, you're not thinking about all of your stuff and always on your mind. For that split second, you're actually making a difference in somebody else's life. And that will come back to you. So even if, you know, if you have to make your brain, if you have to drag your brain in the car next to you on the way to a shelter or on the way to a soup kitchen or on the way to a food drive, please do it. I have said before that, so I mentioned about being in bed. A lot of times I'm in bed because I just can't, there's things I just can't, don't want to do. But also, there are times that I just kind of take grief with me. If I'm wrestling with it, I will take it. I will like put it in my purse. And you never really get rid of it. It never goes away. I don't know, like a tattoo. I don't know how to describe it, but I will pick up grief and I will like put it in my purse. I have a very large purse. I'll put it in my purse. I will carry it with me. It's not gone. It's coming with me. I can still have it and I can still lean into grief if I want to, but it's going to come with me. And we're going to go do something else. And then we're going to go do something else. And when I come home, I set my purse down. If I want to pull out my grief and marinate in it or whatever it is I want to do, I can. If I want to leave it in my purse for later and I'm going to go take it somewhere else, I can do that too. So anyway, just being real. To me, learning and growing applies to the garden and the outdoor space, yes, but it also applies to my mind and it also applies to my heart and emotions. And so, learning that my thoughts, I can control. I can't control if it's raining, but I can control how I think about the fact that it's raining. And then, depending on what situation I am in, the fact that it's raining will change. My thought may be different and it may result in a different feeling. For example, if it's raining and I'm a farmer and it's been drought, there's been drought going on, my thought is, woohoo, it's raining. I'm so glad my crops are saved. Versus the same fact, it's raining and I'm a bride who's going to get married outside. My thought might be, oh my gosh, what about my wedding? It's going to be ruined. The same fact, it's raining, can be interpreted by our brains deliberately from in one way or another, and it will affect the way that we feel. So the farmer is glad and the bride is not happy. That can happen. When somebody dies, if the person had been suffering for a long time, they had a long, good life, they've been suffering. One person, the person dies, that's a fact. So-and-so died. One person is thinking, I'm so glad they don't have any more sickness and suffering. It must have been really hard on them. Another person is thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to see them again. They were my rock, my encourager. What am I going to do? The fact doesn't change that the person died. It's the thought about the person dying that each person holds differently, and then it results in feelings that they have. And then it results in action. So if the feelings feel bad to the person and it's overwhelming, the action might be that they are in bed and they can't get out. If the feelings are relief, sadness, yeah, there's sadness when somebody dies, obviously, but relief for that person, then the action for that person may be different than the one who can't get out of bed. So those are some things that I've learned over the years too, and it's very helpful. It's very helpful in all kinds of situations. It's helpful in trying new seeds, trying new plants, trying new planting methods, learning new things, learning how to harvest, learning how to can, learning how to cook. Because like I've said, I was not a mom who cooks. So let's get through these holidays. Let's get through one. It's in addict groups, they talk about 1 day at a time. And I say 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 doctor appointment at a time, 1 business trip at a time. Let's keep ourselves together and do the best that we can to be loving humans to each other. Because we all need the love. And we're all going to need the love more than ever through these seasons as we're coming back into normal. And so try to be patient with each other and try to be kind. And try to take your eyes off of those worries you have every day about your own life and your own situations. Try to look around and see if there's some people that you can help and encourage. And coming up on a new year, we could make this coming year a better one if we wanted to. So at any rate, I love you all. I want you to learn and grow. I love you guys. Your feathers will grow in. You might feel ragged. You will fill out again. Realistic expectations. Now that my chickens are not laying, I am not expecting eggs from them. And because they're molting, I'm not expecting eggs from them. And my thought of, oh, they're molting, I'm not expecting eggs from them, makes me feel more at peace instead of stressed because I'm not going to get eggs. So I don't know, just wanted to let you know I love you guys so much. And I think that's about it. I gotta go close up those chickens so critters don't eat them. But see you guys later. Learn and grow. Learn and grow some more. Be kind to yourself. Don't shoot on yourself. And we'll see you later.